Good morning, colleagues. I've been given a task to come and talk about emotional intelligence. I'm not going to talk alone. It's going to be an interactive session where we can share the views and the experiences that we went through. My topic here, as you can see, it's emotional intelligence and, of course, leadership and how leadership needs to employ emotional intelligence, because it is quite important for us to be able to have that intelligence. And therefore, I will make it a point that I divide my presentation into three phases. There is a video clip that you are going to see. That video clip is divided into two. I will play the first part of that video clip and stop it, and we engage on it. And then I will play the second part, and then we engage also in that particular instance. When we talk about emotional intelligence, it's something that we have to manage, particularly as managers in our own environments. Because if we don't control our emotions and make it a point that we do things accordingly without, taking our emotions too much into consideration, then definitely there is something good that will come out of our environment. So the minute we are able to control our emotions, then the better for us and the better the environment in which we are involved. Now I'm going to play this video clip and then engage you, as I said.
Where is that nurse? I'm having pain again. 15 minutes I've been pushing this button.
Are you ringing that call line again? What can I do to help you?
What can you do? I just had knee surgery. I'm in pain. I need my pain medicine.
We're changing shifts here, and we're very busy. You're not my only patient. I have 4 other patients. We're extremely busy. There's a national nursing shortage going on. Don't you know that?
And what would I do if I fell out of bed or I stopped breathing or something? What would you do then?
Again, sir, we're very short-staffed. If you're having a problem with my response time, you can give my nurse manager a call. Maybe while you're at it, you can tell her how short we are and how busy we are. Maybe she can throw on a pair of scrubs herself and come out here and help us.
So when am I going to get my pain medicine?
Whenever I get a chance. And if you keep on bothering me and ringing your bell, it's going to take me even longer.
All right.
Okay. I am sure you have observed what is happening in this video clip, and although it is a different environment, a medical environment, but I'm sure you can relate that you have had similar experiences as a manager in your environments. I've had such an experience also, some few years ago. Although I was not in this particular position now, but in another institution as a manager. I think I was working in the basic education department then, and an SGP member just barged in, a chairperson actually, not just an ordinary member, but an SGP chairperson, school governing body, just barged into my office and tried to interfere with what is happening in classes, which is my jurisdiction, not the SGP's jurisdiction. And therefore, I tried to collect myself, that I should not lose it. But at the end, I lost it. And I told the SGP chairperson to get out of my office. And of course, that was not a nice thing to do. I should have done better in order for me to try to salvage the situation and to solve the challenge that, that was there at that particular time. And when I look back, of course, that reflection comes back time and again and say, I should have done better. But it has taught me that there are circumstances that I need to control. And for me to control the circumstances is to make my work to be easy. Because if I don't control these kinds of situations, definitely my work is going to be difficult as much as other people's work that are working within my environment. It's going to be very difficult, So I'm sure, as I've said, you have had similar experiences. And I just want you to mention, I don't want you to give me a solution. Just mention the situation in which you find yourself in. We will give solutions at a later stage. All right. Is there any volunteer? Anyone? With similar, a challenge? I'm sure, definitely you do. All right. It's just that you don't want to bail the cat. You know the story of bailing the cat. All right. The cats had a problem with certain mice that were troubling, and they had rather the mice had a problem with the cat. All right. So therefore, the mice had a meeting, and they said, we want to solve this problem. How can we solve this problem of this cat, because it's devouring us and finishing our generation? And of course, one suggestion came, and the other, and there's one mouse that came with a very good suggestion. Let us spell the cat. Okay, yes, everyone was clapping their hand. Yeah. That's a good suggestion, because once we bell the cat, we will hear the cat from a distance, and then we'll be able to run away. But there came a question. Who will bell the cat? That was the end of the meeting. So who will bell the cat? Who will bell the cat? Okay, yes, ma'am.
I'll give a scenario, but I wasn't a manager at that point in time. I was a supervisor, and in that case, I was actually a leader. A student plagiarized my work, and after plagiarizing my work, I questioned her politely that surely how can you submit work that has plagiarized my own work? And the students reacted very negatively and said that there is no way I can plagiarize your work. I'm a Christian, I'm a born again Christian, and I can never do that. So I opened my dissertation and opened hers, and I compared, and I told her, what would you say? At that point in time, she fell down and lied down crying, saying, I'm very sorry. And initially, she denied. So I was very emotional, and I actually chased her out of my office. I told her, get lost. Because surely you don't have guts to copy my work and bring it to me to look at it. So I lost it.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I think I overreacted. I even wrote to her an email and told her, I hate to see you. I hate the day that I was, you came to my office. And she took that and forwarded it to my boss at that time. And my boss reacted very negatively towards that.
Yeah.
Which later on,
You understood.
I understood, and I said, I wish I approached it in a different manner.
Yeah. Yes. That's quite true. And I saw another hand, just one more hand. I saw one hand this side. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. That's quite important. We will come to how you solve it later on. Okay, anyway, I saw a hand this side.
Yeah.
Oh, there, over there. You can talk whilst the mic is coming.
Okay, thanks, Prof. in my situation, at one stage, I still remember it was in 2015, I toured the faculties with my 2 HODs, trying to find out the adoption of the LMS.
Okay.
And you know, if you arrive in one of the faculties, they will say, no, this LMS is not working. Even the WhatsApp is better than the LMS itself. So in a way, the sense is that what do you need here? Because really this thing doesn't work. And as a result, then we are okay with the LMS itself. I mean with the WhatsApp. And this colleague academic says, you know, it's very slow. You can go and boil the water at the end and it will still hang. So it became a joke in a sitting like this. So emotionally, you know, you feel that you came to at the wrong place.
Yeah.
And you are trying to influence the paradigm shift to say that the way the students learn this nowadays or the lecturer should teach has changed. It's no longer only in a conventional situation like here. You can teach wherever you are. But here the colleagues, they make it a mockery out of it. And you know, it was so unpleasant situation.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to bring this colleague to see the bigger picture, but he's getting into the past. He doesn't come out of the box to say that let's have a let's have a buy-in and see how best we can do for the students. So that was a little bit of a situation until the dean
intervened.
In order to say, okay, let's give them a chance and hear the views from other colleagues.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. As I've said, we all have this kind of an experience, and therefore it depends, you know, on how we attack this challenge that we face time and again. So I want us to
Tell her how short we are and how
look
busy
at
we
what
are.
is happening.
Maybe she can throw in a pair of scrubs herself and help us.
So when am I going to get my pain medicine?
Try to get a chance. Ring your bell. It's going to take me even longer.
All right.
Let's look at the second instance here.
Oh, where's that nurse? I need my pain medicine.
Hello, Mr. Jones. My name is Ann. I'm going to be your nurse this evening. How can I help you?
I just had knee surgery. I need my pain medicine. It's been a long time.
Oh, I am so sorry for the delay. What can I do to help you? I'm here now.
What if it were an emergency? What if I fell out of bed or I stopped breathing or something? Who would come?
I can see that this has caused you a lot of frustration and distress. I am going to get your pain medication right now. We're going to get your pain under control. Is there anything else I can get you? It will just take me a few minutes.
Maybe something to drink, a ginger ale or something with the pain medicine.
I'll be glad to get that for you, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
What a difference. Did you see that? What a difference on how we attend to issues, particularly when those issues have to do with raising our emotions and all that. So you might have had a similar experience also. How did you solve the problem then? Was it solved or it was left just unattended?
It went far, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but later when it was solved.
Okay.
It went far.
Yes.
It triggered
Other things. Yes.
And from there, I sent the student compartment and protect her. And I think that is what really settled my heart. Is the fact that she was found guilty.
Okay.
But at that point in time, I did not even want to supervise her. And I was the only supervisor available.
Yes.
Which also brought me up with conflicts. Because then my dean at that time insisted that we must continue supervising her. But the student went ahead and raised other issues which were not even related.
Related, yeah.
Which also affected me much more.
Yes. I'm sure Prof. Mukola also can relate to this in yesterday's encounter.
It's very interesting indeed, because at one time I wanted to call off the meeting. When they arrive, all these young people, they are very funny. You just have to control your emotions.
Yeah.
When I arrived, they said, Prof, you can't chair this meeting. I said, yeah, indeed, you're right. I was not supposed to be chairing because SRB was in the DC. So I'm just here to assist her because she's not here. They say, no, we plead that you don't chair. I said, thank you very much. Then we nominated a person to chair. When we did that, then they decided to nominate their deputy chair to co-chair.
Let's give it.
Then I said, but this is a university meeting. It can never be chaired by students. Now they started others that it's not going to happen. They insisted that they are going to co-chair. Then immediately, I became angry that moment. I said, I'm calling off this meeting. Then one of the small kids, they stood up and said, Prof, you can't wash your hair, you are your children. Yeah. Just understand that we can argue with you, we don't mean it. Then immediately I cooled down. Because I can tell you, I was calling that meeting off immediately. But the way he approached me to say that you can't wash your hands for us, we need you. It completely destroyed me.
Yeah.
Then I said, let's proceed.
Yeah.
Then we proceeded.
Okay. All right. At least there was sanity that prevailed.
On my side.
Yeah. You know, when we are emotionally pepped up, we can do things that we'd regret at the end. You know, how did you solve it? Thank you for sharing.
Yes, you know, Prof, it has to be escalated to the GBC level. And at one stage, the GBC said the EC and the current LMS, my tutor, should write its capabilities and we make comparison. And you know, today I would say that, you know, we work very well with the faculty concerned.
Okay.
And we have find each other. And they are also uploading their materials or using my tutor for teaching and all. And we have embraced the two systems, though the one that the institution is supporting is my tutor one, the LMS. And the other one, then I don't know, because it's more faculty based. And one could understand why they also wanted, or the way in which the colleague concerned was pushing for the faculty-based one, because of other students who are based in other learning sites, and my tutor cannot sync the material that has been offered at that particular, other learning site, and so that the distance should be able to also get the same type of the material at the same time.
Yeah.
So then until we came up with the Blackboard Collaborate, where virtual teaching is taking place, and we are also addressing the issue of Polokwane students. They are no longer traveling to social group on Saturdays. They study where they are every Saturdays, but the teaching will happen at social group. The MLFA can also be getting the same type of tuition at live at the very same time. So we have found each other.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's the most important part, just to find one another or each other. You know, that's the most important part. I'm not going to dwell much on, you know, the definitions and all that, but I would like to highlight some few things as far as emotions are concerned. All right? So we all know this. It's what we feel. All right? And of course, what we think about how we feel. That becomes very crucial when it comes to emotions. All right? But of course, we should know that there is that interconnectedness that is there between our emotions, all right, which is the body when it reacts to certain circumstances, all right, and the mind, all right, which is the rational part of it, you know, because in most instances, when our emotions go up, we even forget of reasoning properly. We do reason, but we don't reason to the extent that is expected of us as human beings. All right? So, but what we know is that the emotions, we cannot run away from the fact that emotions play a very important part in our environments, and how we control the environment, and how we need to make it a point that our environments become productive. Because once we neglect that part, that emotions play a very critical role in our environments as far as performance is concerned, then we would have lost it. So we need to know that as leaders, we need to control our environments as far as emotions are concerned. I had a meeting on Friday last week, and one of the staff members just went up and even stood up and said, "Mbese, Mbese, Mbese," pointing at me. Then I looked at him and said, please sit down. Please sit down. And of course, there are other things that came after that. So we need to control our situations wherever we are, because we deal with human beings that have emotions, and we also have emotions. We have our own weak points. They also have their own weak points. But it's for us to work together in order for our emotions to do the best for us. All right? Then George and Brief says here, workers' moods and emotions influence their choice of work activities. And further says the levels of effort again, and levels of persistence in the face of obstacles. And that is important to note that, all right? But as I said before, because of the body, all right, emotions, and of course the mind, which is the rational part of it, there is some kind of interference that plays a role there. And we need to control that interference, because if we don't, then we are going to be in a problem. All right, Plato says, emotion and reason are two horses pulling an individual in opposite directions. Yes, here are emotions. The body is leading you to do this kind of a thing. But of course, there is that mind also that is pulling you in the opposite direction. So we've got to make a wise choice on what we need to do at that particular time. And the most important part is to listen to reason more than emotions. Because emotions in most instances can mislead us. All right, as I've said before, and do the things that we will regret later on in life. And Plato talks about two systems. He talks about an automatic system, and he also talks about the control system. Now, the automatic system is the mind, the emotions part of it, all right? And the control system is here. In other words, we have to control so that the automatic system is under regulation. Because if we don't regulate this automatic system, then we are going to mess up, and we are not going to get the results that we want to have at the end in our environments. Okay, I will pass. If you want the slides, I will send them to you. Now, the concept of emotional intelligence, all right, started early in the 20th century, all right, but came to be introduced quite well by Wen Payne in 1985. All right. Now it has to do with understanding your own feelings. What is it that you understand about yourself and how you feel and how you need to control your emotions at a particular time? All right. So you need to make it a point that you understand your emotions in order for you to motivate even those that are working with you. Because if the emotions are not correct, many of those that are subordinates will also be affected one way or the other. And they will be demoralized. And there is nothing good that will come out of the environment. All right? So it is about improving relationships between people. All right, because there should be social cohesion that takes place in the environment, and of course, it shapes how you control your emotions. All right, it facilitates good interaction of leaders with and the led. All right, it is a vital element on how we as leaders today need to tackle the complex situations that we find ourselves in, like Prof. Mkola has said. You know, there are situations where definitely you see that this thing is way beyond my control. But you have to make it a point that there is some kind of rationality that goes into it in order for that particular problem to be solved. Because of time, I will go to this slide, all right? This was published by Pastor in 2014. He says, leaders with high emotional intelligence levels tend to achieve both higher professional performance and high scores on professional satisfaction. So in other words, if you are a leader that is controlling the emotions, there will be some professional satisfaction that comes with it. But not only that, but also the performance that comes with it. Just imagine when you wake up and you are pepped up with emotions when you think of the environment in which you are. You don't even think of going to work. You know, you think of just, staying outside of that environment and not think of going to work, because that environment is kind of toxic because of the emotions that are running high, and probably because I have failed as a leader, all right, to control the emotions. All right, and it says subordinates with a high level of emotional intelligence tend to obtain higher professional performance and high scores on professional satisfaction. All right, so we need to be able to control our emotions as leaders. My last clip, as I promised you, it gives you some kind of solutions.
Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize, interpret, and process emotions in yourself and others. While genetics, upbringing, and environment all play a role, there are steps you can take to develop your emotional intelligence over time. Get to know yourself. Emotionally intelligent people are self-aware. They have a realistic appreciation of their strengths and weaknesses and how they come across to others. Peer feedback is one way of improving your self-awareness and may uncover a few of your emotional blind spots. Learn your triggers. Linked to the notion of self-awareness is knowing how you are likely to respond in particular situations. Think about how you felt the last time you were under pressure. Did these feelings help or hinder you? Recognizing emotions and the source of these emotions can shift your emotional state. Empathize. Seeing things from someone else's perspective will help you understand their values and beliefs. This is important when it comes to motivating and engaging others. Make a conscious effort to get to know your colleagues. Ask open questions and actively listen to what they have to say, rather than simply waiting for your turn to speak. Be on the lookout for body language and other non-verbal signs, as these may tell you more than someone is willing to express out loud. Own your emotions. Part of being emotionally intelligent is about taking responsibility for the way you interact with others. If someone upsets you, pause and reflect on why their actions led you to feel this way, instead of reacting impulsively. Recognize that a conversation is a two-way interaction, and it takes two people to make you angry, sad, or frustrated. Go with your gut. Finally, listen to your body. If your stomach starts doing backflips every time you speak to a senior manager, or your muscles tense up before you go into a meeting, what does this tell you? Counterintuitive as it might seem, emotions can be a valuable source of information when making rational decisions at work. Remember, emotional intelligence isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about learning how to recognize, process, and channel them in a way that benefits you and your team. Enhancing your emotional intelligence requires effort, but it can be achieved with sustained practice.
Thank you very much. That's my presentation.